My first love was literature and fiction writing, and I came to the conclusion that I wasn't a very good writer. And it wasn't because I wasn't technically proficient, it was because I didn't know what was worth writing about. So the question of what is true about the human situation came to be of much greater concern to me.
I had actually several job offers on the table. Finally, the night before I had to make the decision, my wife just said, "You have to go to Clemson because you're a change the world kind of guy." I moved down here 5 months ahead of my wife and children, lived in a dormitory, if you can believe it. My dorm room was the office of the Clemson Institute for the Study of Capitalism. Our mission is to explore the moral foundations of capitalism. And that's what makes the Clemson Institute for the Study of Capitalism different from all other free market centers on university campuses. After about 10 years, I decided that we had to create an independent academic program on the campus, the Lyceum Scholars Program. We currently give 10 scholarships per year to incoming freshmen, renewable over 4 years.
When I walked in, I expected to learn a lot and to read a lot, but I don't think I expected to actually have such intellectual debates with my fellow students. You have to be willing to share what you truly believe, because that's the only way that you're gonna actually be able to learn something about yourself and about each other.
The Lyceum program takes a great books approach to the study of the moral foundations of a free society. Now, what I mean by that is we read books slowly. We pause often and we ask questions about what the author is saying.
From Plato, Aristotle, and Cicero, up through Locke and Adam Smith and Ayn Rand, studying the history of liberty, capitalism, the American founding, and the principles of moral character.
These great thinkers disagree on matters of supreme importance, so we're forced to try to think for ourselves about what actually is the right answer. When you study someone who writes with this kind of care, you become much more precise as a thinker and in your actions. To the extent that they've had to wrestle with a very difficult text, they'll be much more prepared to act well.
The single most important and unique thing about the Lyceum program is what we call our Socratic Tutor Program.
You meet with one of the Lyceum instructors for 45 minutes to 90 minutes every other week to discuss a question concerning moral virtue or moral character.
What is wisdom? What is the good life? What is freedom?
It's like philosophical therapy in a weird way.
And it doesn't involve any particular methodology. It's just asking naive questions about what justice is and why you want to be this sort of person. More often than not, they come to a greater understanding of the question as opposed to a decisive answer to the question. And in general, that tends to be their favorite experience. It happens to be my favorite part of the Lyceum program.
I took so much away from Lyceum. It's hard to narrow down. One of the big ones is my closest friends, but also they are friends that I think take their lives really seriously, and I think that's one thing that Lyceum teaches you, because you're reading these very serious books, to apply what you're learning to your own life.
Just in these last 3 years, we have had 2 winners of the Fulbright Fellowship. We've had Clemson's first and only Rhodes Scholar.
The day that I found out about the Rhodes Scholarship was a crazy, crazy day because it was the Wake Forest-Clemson game. They announced my name and I got off the Zoom. I'm on the phone with my parents trying to tell them. And then all of my friends burst in through the door into the business school. And then we all celebrated both the Clemson win over Wake and me getting the scholarship the same night. And it was just like a perfect Clemson day. I came to Oxford to do philosophy and politics to understand the world better. I see myself making a difference in the medical space. Being a family doctor, I do want to bridge into health policy on the South Carolina level or on the national level.
I'm humbled and I'm overjoyed to announce today that Mr. and Mrs. Snow have generously donated $25 million to the Clemson Institute for the Study of Capitalism. Thanks to a remarkably generous gift, the Clemson Institute for the Study of Capitalism and the Lyceum program will be preserved in perpetuity. The reason why I took the job at Clemson and the reason why I'm so passionate about trying to change the world is because I understand that ideas have consequences. At the Clemson Institute and in the Lyceum program, we don't believe that ideas are or should be just floating abstractions. Being able to bridge that dichotomy between thinking and acting, that's at the heart and soul of what we do.
The Lyceum Scholars Program has been a formative experience in my life, as well as the lives of many of my friends. This program showed me that it's not just about taking the safe route in life, it's about pursuing your passion. I honestly don't think I would have ended up pursuing politics and law if it weren't for this program, and without it, I don't know where I'd be today.
We want and hope that our students, in one way or another, will be defenders of a free society. Because without freedom, nothing else is possible. What does matter, right, is that they're good men and women of upstanding character who will influence the lives of the people around them.